Afraid I missed last week, having not mastered the live streaming skills, and I will do a better job next time. Let's see. Why don't you kick us off, Aiden?
All right. And yeah, last week I was not here, and I'm sorry for leaving you hanging with the live stream there. We'll figure it out for next time. All right. So just a couple updates just from the foundation, and echoing the Happy Friday thing. I'm sure glad the week is coming to a close. I've mentioned it maybe other places, but I don't think we've talked about it on live before. It's been about 2 weeks that we've had a new foundation staffer working part-time as an administrative assistant. Her name is Cindy. She's local and has started just kind of stepping in and filling in for some of the admin needs that we have. We're looking at kind of stepping away from constantly monitoring the phone and chats as they come in. And also she's been a real help to Rebecca on the helpline. I'm not part of that project necessarily, but we have records and records and records of, I don't know, years of calls that kind of need to be put in the right place that Cindy's been working on.
I'm so excited to have her help on that, and especially with the kind of new system we're going to be using. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an investment with getting all the software training and everything, and we're just starting to get her into communications, but it'll be really nice, and just in time for me to head out for a month and Rebecca to have some assistance, yeah.
I'm just thinking about when we first interviewed Cindy and how we didn't know until she was in the interview that she actually has quite severe dry eye herself. So she's all about community's experience.
And it's really fun. She'll just, she's super good about asking questions. Oh, what's that mean? Or what's an IPL? And it's like, it's a good education opportunity, and just looking forward to when she's able to do more and talk to people. All right. And another project that we've been doing just right in time as well. It's something we've been thinking about for a long time, which is actually using a CRM software. So a customer or client record management piece of software that's going to bring all of our events, emails that I send out, donation records, and like interactions with people at the foundation all into one place. So we'll have a centralized record system. We'll be able to ditch some of our software that we're paying too much for. We'll be able to ditch some of the spreadsheets that kind of all need to be streamlined into this one piece of software.
Volunteers too, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Going to be a new thing for us later on this year.
And Rebecca did all the legwork, finding the software, scheduling the meetings, and on that first test call where we were just kind of getting walked through the features, I was so on board with getting everything in the same place on the same app.
It's like, we've had the foundation for 3.5 years now, and there's actually software out there that is specifically for nonprofits. So it's a step that absolutely made sense. I'm also looking at, it seems like a little thing, but just it will make donations easier, just to be able to have some control over the interface and make it easier for people that would like to share.
Yeah, we got stuck using PayPal for recurring donations and the payment processor through our web hosting service for just regular donations. We'll be able to streamline all that, and just less duplicated stuff everywhere. I forgot to mention too, Cindy is our first staffer on the foundation since the start of the pandemic. It's been a couple of years, just Rebecca and I, and great volunteers and great people on the board, but having someone physically here makes all the difference. She's so ready to learn. Yeah.
Transferring my life really to just be having some new form of support. It's really awesome.
Great. That's all I had on that.
All right. So we started last time with just beginning to go through some of our survey results. Those are at mydryeyedata.org. And this was the great big survey that we conducted for about 1.5 years or so. And last time, the one piece that we looked at was how much we think about our eyes and what that tells us about kind of where we're at with dry eye. This time, we're going to have a look at our actual dry eye symptoms and how we describe them. it's was really interesting to me as we were putting together the survey and figuring out what sorts of questions to ask people. We had to kind of get out there and figure out what are all the different ways people describe what they experience from dry eye. And people just use such different terms for things. They describe their experiences differently, and they just have very, very different symptoms. So when we surveyed on this and some of the very first data that we were looking at, I found it fascinating. It seemed that most people have at least 5 different symptoms, actually. Though what's commonly the case is you'll have like one deal breaker symptom. This is the thing that is just really hard for me. This is the thing that will drive me off my computer or will keep me home or whatever, where they have many others that may just be a little bit more like kind of like background noise. So let's see, I'm just trying to see what's on the screen there myself. You can see from the kind of spider webby thing, which ones of these, actually, could you read off the more prominent ones there, Aiden?
Sure. Yeah, we have dry feeling at like 80%, eyes easily irritated by wind, 76%, eye fatigue, 70%.
What was burning?
Burning, 70% as well. So 68.75. I missed that one. It's like 12 o'clock. Oh yeah, and irritated eyes at 76%. I think it's oh shoot, it's not sorted by prevalence or anything, but yeah, dry feeling was the most common.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
For me, some of the take-home messages here, I want to say first and foremost that all of these different things, is it burning, is it grittiness, feeling something's in your eye, almost all of the things on that list. I mean, we've got like blurred vision on there as well, but most of the things there really are all forms of ocular surface pain. And anybody who knows me know that these language things are a big deal to me. We're not used to thinking of a lot of this stuff as pain. If somebody asks us, are you in pain? Do you have eye pain? You might not answer yes, but technically that is what all these things are. And it can be helpful on the medical side in communications to be thinking of them that way. Another point that I felt came across loud and clear from the data, where everybody voted for dry feeling, right? I think to some extent, this is a learned language. I mean, we didn't all feel that our eyes were dry necessarily before the first time that we went to an eye doctor. When you get diagnosed, you're told you have dry eye or dry eye syndrome or dry eye disease, depending when in history we got diagnosed. And then you come to associate that with all these different sensations that you may be feeling. And that can become an impediment to communication, because when we walk in the door of the doctor's office, we're sitting in the exam chair and we're saying, my eyes are dry. And we mean, I feel thus and such a symptom, but we're saying my eyes are dry. Meantime, we're sitting behind the slit lamp, doctors looking at our eyes. If they don't see signs of damage to the cornea, if they're not seeing dryness there, then we have this automatic disconnect. And who's going to win? The evidence under the slit lamp or the words out of our mouths? So I do think it's important for us to find just more accurate ways to describe our symptoms that can help work us around those communication snafus. So that's another reason that I always push having people fill out the little symptom surveys where you can take all of these symptoms and their varying severities really and sum them up in just a number that will put out. Aiden, would you mind just posting a link to the OSDI again?
Oh yeah, OSDI, sure. I posted one.
Sorry, I put it on our list here. Anyway, if you get a chance, have a look through some of that data and see, where do I fall on this spectrum? We also had lots of comments on there from people sharing more about their symptoms and what their experiences were. My worst symptom may be different than somebody else's. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a lot of pie charts.
I know. Sorry. I don't want to get anyone dizzy.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
Right. So people added, can you read maybe some of those that are like things people added that weren't on the list? How did people describe their symptoms?
Ooh, chronic corneal erosion, Burning, itching, rash outside the corner of the eye. Eyes feel heavy. Feel like there's a tear on the outer part of my eye that just stays there. Eyes feel like leather.
Wow.
Low or no oil production. See, that's another one that might be kind of a trained answer to the question.
Yeah.
Poor vision at night, evening. Yeah. Oh. Eyelashes poke eye. Eyes feel naked when I don't blink every few seconds. Try like
Naked.
sandpaper.
That's kind of a good word. It's like that exposure feeling.
Eyelids stick to the surface of the eye. Vision fluctuation causes dizziness. Has to rinse out eyes. Yeah, eyes stuck together.
The rinsing thing makes me feel like that sensation, like your eyes are just, I don't know, they feel sticky, they feel dirty, they just don't feel normal. I mean, when your eyes are normal and healthy, you just don't feel them. So it's like,
got filaments too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stringy stuff. Awesome. Thank you.
Together. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, like I said, go visit mydryeyedata.org. There's a lot to learn there. All right, gonna move on now to just news, journal roundup. Didn't see anything particularly important in the news itself, but there were a few abstracts in my feed that I thought were interesting. This first one was comparing autologous serum to platelet-rich plasma. A huge issue with biologic products in general, or including these blood-based drops that a lot of us use, is we know there may be lots of good stuff in them, but how long rather, and under what conditions does the good stuff stay good, these growth factors and whatnot. These are not things that you just sort of stick on your bathroom shelf. They have to be stored in special ways, and they're not necessarily, they don't necessarily have long lifespans to remain active. So anyway, this particular study, they found growth factors in both types, the serum and the platelet-rich plasma. And they found that they both stayed stable up to a week, basically in the fridge. I forget what the exact temperatures were, and up to 3 months in the freezer. But they started out different. And unfortunately, in the abstract here, they didn't say exactly which one had a higher concentration from the get-go. So I'm hoping to find out from the authors. But what they did say was PRP is easier to make. So gosh, why don't we go with that one? Seemed to be the conclusion. So just stuck in my head, because I know convenience and inconvenience are a really big deal with some of the most effective of our treatments. All right, next one. There was a teeny weeny little abstract about generic cyclosporin having come on the scene. And the only reason I wanted to highlight that was that in the abstract, they say this should result in cost savings to patients. And that's always been my hope. And when I posted something about this in the Facebook groups, when I first confirmed with the generic manufacturer, Mylan, that this was actually out there and available from pharmacies now, there was just a whole slew of responses from people suggesting that they're having a very different experience than something becoming cheaper. And that's really unfortunate. Going to be tracking that and coming back to that issue in the near future, for sure. All right, last one amongst the abstracts, there was a little study about how mask wearing affects tear breakup time. And I know, a lot of us left masks behind a while ago. They're kind of making a reappearance here with our COVID infection rates going up too. So this is more timely than it might have seemed a month or two ago. Their point with the study was just that tear breakup time decreases with mask wearing. Their results were that happens regardless of age, gender, or OSDI score. OSDI score is your symptom score total. All right, so that was all of those for this week. So now we're going to move on to issues. And this week's issue is biologic eye drops. I'm only going to introduce this briefly today. We're not going to discuss it in depth. I want to get this topic out there on your radar, and I want to let you know about a new website that we have launched. So, what are biologic eye drops? This is a term that's used to refer to drops that the manufacturer describes as being made from placenta or amniotic fluid. This is a relatively recent phenomenon in the dry eye world. Some of them have been around for a while, but they've only become kind of better known recently. And we've had some concerns about this, but those concerns have just been kind of a background noise thing. Gosh, that's weird. Gosh, it feels like there's something wrong there. Then some things happened that brought this to the forefront for us, really, and made us very concerned. So the last many weeks, we've been doing an awful lot of research on this topic, and then went to kind of taking everything we learned and trying to distill it down into formats that can be useful both to patients and their eye care providers. And all of that in its current form we have on this website, biologiceyedrops.org. Could you just pull that up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Yep.
Sorry.
Putting it in the chat, and then I'll pull it up here.
So just have a glance at that. We have printed material on there. We've got a video blog where I'm starting to post some videos discussing some things. And we have an ophthalmologist also making some PowerPoint presentations that I think will be particularly helpful, both for patients and for doctors, really. And we have a number of kind of tools and materials there for people to take some action to. Suggested questions you can ask your doctor. There's a letter to share. There's contact information for the FDA if you have questions you want to ask them. So anyway, just want to invite you to have a look at the website, and we'll be very interested to hear people's feedback. All right, I think that is all I have just about. Let's see, Aiden, can you run over current events?
Sure, yeah, I'll just go to the foundation website. So we've got a calendar of events up here. We are hosting a dry eye support group today on Zoom at 3 p.m. Pacific. You can see right here. You can join us on Zoom. You can just watch on YouTube. And then next week, not too much going on. Rebecca's doing a scleral lens group on Thursday. And that's actually it for next week. We'll be doing more the week after. So mental health, millennials, and UK dry eye support group. That's the second weekend of June. It's kind of a funny one. We've got, I think Monday or Tuesday are still May next week. So let's see. Yeah, so if you have a chance, join us today at 3 for the support group, dryfoundation.org/calendar, and I'll put that on the live stream chat as well.
Super, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, I don't think I have anything else for today. So that is about it. Do we have support group this afternoon?
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
All right. Hope to see some of you this afternoon. That will be good fun. And for everyone else, just have a great weekend.